guys to get your bodies right. So what did that process sort of look like coming into this week?
Yeah, we just, after going into the bye week, you have a plan of what you want to try to accomplish. It's number one, getting healthy, but number two, continue to build the standards and how you practice, how it's supposed to look like on film, and just kind of continue to build the culture while resting your body so it's a happy medium. So I thought Coach had a good plan as far as how we practice and the time we were on the field. And we got better. It was intense, and it was physical, but it was good to go against our defense again. And I think it was a good time to get everybody back.
And obviously, I'm assuming guys are feeling good coming out of that week, a little rest and time to bond. But have you sort of seen them respond to those good times now going against Kansas this week, going into this week? Have you sort of seen them respond this fast?
Well, again, you just talk about specifically this Wednesday's practice, and they did a good job of responding and practicing hard and correcting the mistakes they did, whether it was last week or yesterday. So you want them to make a new mistake. If they make the same mistake, then we're not doing a good job as coaches, or I'm not doing a good job as an O-line coach to hammer home the point. So, but if they make a new mistake, it's something new to correct, and the young men are never going to be perfect. But as long as they're not making the same mistake twice, then this is what developing is.
And I heard you also today harping on getting on your guys about the little things. So
yeah.
I was just kind of curious if you could paint the picture of some of those little things that you think your O-line group needs to.
Yeah, just communication. Being able to talk and communicate with each other, and something simple as who's next in line. Like, hey, talk. Who's next? And not waiting till the last minute till the rep goes, oh shoot, I am in the drills. They know who their depth are, but just communicating and when you're out there, communicating on what went good, what went wrong in the middle of the play when guys are switching guys and bumping off defenders. It's just the communication part of it, and obviously everything from the snap count to the identification of who they're working to, things like that. It's just all those little things add up.
And then obviously everyone knows, and you've spoken to it before, about Leaf, his leadership, and how big that's been, not just with the O-line group, but the team as a whole. So I was kind of just curious, you being with Leaf for some time now, could you just sort of paint the picture of what his leadership style is? Is he a leader by example, vocal leader, a mix of both?
Well, he's a leader by example. He does everything right. He shows up early when what the standard is, and he just works. He works. He tries to perfect his craft, and when he gets coached and corrected, he doesn't pout. He doesn't. He's not too egotistical to take the coaching. So that in itself is a young man that's mature, and the guys look up to that. And when you got a guy that does everything right and continues to perfect his craft and show up for his teammate and show up for the program, it's easy to be the leader when guys look at you because you do everything right.
And I'm sure you know that his father was a lieutenant colonel. He comes from a family of athletes. Disciplined throughout his entire life. How do you think that sort of discipline has kind of been contagious for the entire group?
Well, you can tell when Colonel raised him, and you can tell they raised him to do things right, but also love the family. And so he's a big family guy. Loves his sisters, loves his family, and just everything about him, and just it talks about the upbringing of his family, and he's very family oriented, and I got to spend some time with them, and just seeing how they raised him and how they are, and they're very loving. But you can tell, that Colonel raised him with an iron fist, but with a lot of love. So that's why he's able to fit in what we're trying to do here on the offensive line.
And I got a chance to talk to his sister Hope yesterday, and she was kind of just talking about like all the little small competitions that they would have that kind of made him become this competitor that he is today. How have you sort of seen him compete, not only just with his, the players on the field, but also with himself to be better?
He is a competitor. I mean, it's easy to compete when you're going against somebody. I played him a couple times in cornhole, and he's up one, and I'm pretty good. So I played against him in cards and things like that. So, but it's easy to do that. It's when no one's looking, when you don't have a crowd, when you don't have coaches, you don't have film. Like, what are you doing? And he does it well. He does it. He does the work when the lights are off, and that's where you can tell a guy who's driven is, what do you do when the lights are off? What do you do when no one's there? And he does a great job.
And obviously the Polynesian pipeline has been huge, not just within the O-line group, but the team as a whole. I'm pretty sure there's one Polynesian per position group. And obviously Leaf, he's talked about kind of wanting to lead the charge for that, something that he takes pride in. So for you as well, how big is it to see that Polynesian pipeline sort of grow and also see him take charge?
Well, it's nice to see the culture, that I grew up in, and just kind of spread throughout, not just in here, but college football, but here specifically. It's nice to have a little bit of Polynesian love, and but this is the beauty of the sport, the mixture of the great different cultures, whether you're from an island or you're from Texas or you're from the great state of Arizona or from Cali. It's just the mixture of all of it. That's what you need to build a team, and again, we've got everybody from again different parts of the country, and having Leaf helps bring some of those other Polynesian kids here, and but it's a whole conglomerate of guys, and what Kenny's trying to build here as far as just what Arizona State's culture is about, and the Polynesian community is big out here, and so if we can make sure they got family out here and playing in front of aunties and uncles and all that stuff, that's awesome.
And lastly for me, Leaf said that Polynesian pipeline and just Polynesians as a whole across sports and just generally is founded on respect, and that's kind of been contagious across this whole team. So as that Polynesian pipeline has grown, have you also seen that respect and culture factor in the team?
Yeah, it just adds to what Kenny's trying to do, and what we're trying to do here is just be a good person, and a part of our culture as a Polynesian man is respect. You respect your elders and obey. And so when you translate or transfer to here, it's be a good person, right? And we like to have fun here, and Polynesians like to have fun too. So it's just the respect part of it, the love part of it, and it fits well to what Coach is trying to build here.
Perfect. Thank you, Saga. I appreciate it.